Welcome to my channel. Here I'm going to discuss watercolor painting, as well as other forms of art. I want to share what I've learned, as well as inspire other people to begin their own art journey as well. Have you ever wanted to start art? Are you already experienced in art but want to get better? On this channel, I'm going to share skills and techniques to help you improve your own artwork, especially in the world of watercolor and gouache. So why watercolor? Well, personally, I love watercolor, but why should you love watercolor? I'm going to say reason number one, it's super cheap. You can pick up the paints, the materials anywhere. Needing only a small amount of supplies at a small cost, you can produce a lot of artwork at a very small cost, which helps you, the student, to more quickly build skills needed to become a great painter. Reason number two, you could do it pretty much anywhere. Almost anywhere. With relative ease of setup and cleanup as compared with, say, acrylic or oil, with the toxic fumes and such. 3, it dries quickly. It's super easy to store a bunch of paintings. Just get sketchbooks like these, and you can fill them up to the top with any and all sketches that you want to do to help you improve. As I have said in another video, quantity leads to quality. So if you want to spend time making as many little daily sketches as you can, watercolor is a great medium for that. Focus on doing those little things that increase you that 1% better each day. You'll improve for sure. So what do you need to start watercolor? You need paint. Paint is relatively cheap, very cheap actually. You can just get simple travel cases. You can get tubes of watercolor paint. It comes liquid, it comes solid, it comes cheap, student grade, professional grade. You can spend any amount you want on it, but the point is you can start with any amount. You can get the cheapest paint available and still learn all the techniques that you need to do well with watercolor. And then as your skills progress, you can go ahead and pay more for better paint. And honestly, you'll know when you need that. You'll start to realize that the paint that you're using can't do things that it should be able to do. You'll get there, but start cheap. There's no reason not to. There's no reason not to get started and start learning all of the techniques you need to become a great painter. 2, brushes. I will be the first to say I use very cheap brushes, mostly because brushes get very expensive very quickly, but also brushes don't make nearly as big a difference as, say, paint or paper does. You can do a whole lot with relatively cheap brushes. You can certainly learn all the techniques you need to, but definitely when your skill improves, pay that little bit extra for a nicer brush and you can see what it does for you. It's just another tool, and it's absolutely no reason to stop you from getting into water-based medium. Lastly, paper. You definitely need watercolor paper. I tend to use at least 140-pound paper or greater. So you're looking for a paper that's rated as watercolor paper. You're looking for paper that is sturdy, it can hold water, it can hold the pigment that you're putting into it, and it doesn't dry all wavy and crinkled. Granted, less than that, it might dry crinkled, it might dry wavy, but, in the process of doing the painting, you're going to tape it down to a board. It usually dries relatively flat, and it'll teach you how to put the amount of water on the paper that it can handle and no more. You can get heavier materials that are more professional quality, but you don't need to. You can start with lower quality materials and progress very well just by getting that repetition in. Do it every day. Paint every day. Draw every day. Build that skill and technique. And then as it becomes necessary, and you'll know when, you get better products and you make more professional quality paintings. That's what we're going to help you do here on this channel. And in the next episode, I'm going to go ahead and delve into techniques of watercolor, as well as go ahead and start a tutorial painting that you can follow along with. And let's see what happens. Thank you. This is time number 2 recording this, as it would seem the previous time I recorded it, the microphone switched to an electronic voice, so it sounded like we were in a discotheque. Discotheque? It sounded like we were in a computer. It sounded like discotheque is a really old word, and I'm not old enough to be using that word.
And now, a word from our sponsor.